Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name's LT. For those of you who are new around here, welcome to LT K-pop, our little corner of the internet where I like to waffle about K-pop and Korean-based music in my free time, especially when it comes to the K-bands. I do like to waffle passionately about the K-bands. But this is essentially the story of how I got to go see Lucy live in concert. So, welcome to story time. Let's get started. Roll intro! I grew up listening to rock music, right? Anything rock really based out of the 80s. I listened to growing up mainly because that's what my parents grew up listening to. More like that's what my mom grew up listening to, and I would listen to her music whenever we'd go, you know, whether it be like going grocery shopping or whatnot. That's what I'd be listening to. In fact, I was the kid that got told off by my parents for singing Aerosmith on an airplane too loud. I was 6. It's kind of like where my levels were at, and really just growing up, it was always 80s rock, 80s rock, 80s rock, and I loved it. There's just something that's very fun about rock music, that where you have, you know, the wallowing guitar solos, the high-flying shredding sessions, the kind of rough and gritty but really quite emotionally soulful vocals of a rock vocalist. That running 16th note bass section, the freak nasty quick drum fills. I love all of that stuff, you know what I mean? And so I was pretty big on that 80s rock thing until I'd say high school. High school, I've gone into like an American public high school for the first time in my life, and I'd kind of known about K-pop starting around here. Like my first exposure to K-pop was, I think, summer break before going into freshman year of high school, when I was watching a Call of Duty montage and someone had used Infinite's BTD as one of the background tracks back when, you know, copyright really wasn't an issue on YouTube. But, you know, growing up in a primarily Caucasian area in the American Midwest, if you outwardly enjoyed any form of media out of the East, it was kind of like societal. It was a one-way ticket to ruining your social rep in school. Just like, if you like anime, you're considered like a nerd or a geek. You like J-pop or you like anything Japan, you're considered a weeb. Kind of the same thing with K-pop. It's like, if you were outwardly an enjoyer of K-pop, people just kind of like, and then brush you off. You had to like the like your Kiss FM American or just like Western pop music. And so while I enjoyed the Infinite song, I didn't really know it was K-pop at the time. And of course, Gangnam Style was a big hit then as well. But, you know, throughout high school, I still retained that rock phase within me. I'd gone to some rock concerts throughout high school as well. Def Leppard had come into town a couple times, my favorite 80s band. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, they're a staple during Christmas time, but they also have some very good music, some of which I've been able to play in orchestra as well, but also been able to go see a couple of times. And high school and me getting more involved, you know, more enjoying video games and stuff, got me in my EDM phase naturally. But college is where everything kind of starts leaning into the K-pop realm. And, you know, college people don't really care about your like interests and stuff. If they don't like it, they'll just kind of, you know, just water under the bridge. If you like it, you've got a new friend, yeah. And one of my friends, I think it must have been like freshman or sophomore year, they had introduced me to Mika as well, but I think I'd asked for some K-pop recs or something like that, and they brought up G-Friend. G-Friend's Me Gustas too, I think Shiran Italioso or Rough was in there as well. And that's kind of where the whole K-pop journey really starts for me. K-bands, on the other hand, I didn't get into until very recently. In fact, I can tell you exactly when my adventure into the K-band realm started. It was Gomak Boys. Gomak Boys, the project vocal group, including the likes of Kim Min-sok of Mellowmans, Jung Sung Hwan, Big Naughty, Sam Paul Kim, I think. And then the main one, Mr. Ha Hyun-sang, vocalist of Hopi Pola. And that kind of really got the ball rolling on me getting properly invested into the K-bands, because until then, I didn't know of any. I think I may have heard of like Day 6 and Congratulations, and Flying's Oh Really, because Sakura from IZ*ONE really liked that song, and that was about it. And checking out Gomek Boys eventually got me into Hopi Pola around Christmas time, especially because Your Ocean was an unbelievable song with a cello and guitar solo, like double solo. Like a band with a cello. Growing up as a violinist, that was already super intriguing, and when I brought that fact up, someone had mentioned Lucy. And the show's super band. The fact that, you know, there are other K-bands out there, one of which had a violinist in the lineup. Of course, I'm super interested, because this is back when I just stopped playing violin because I didn't bring it with me to the UK, where I had been doing my master's at the time. And so we made some time to check out Superband from start to finish, Superband Season 1. And we had a great time, you know, 14 weeks of just really wholesome but really high quality K-band content, of course. And, you know, Lucy being the group where they ended up in the show, they got a whole lot of coverage, and with good reason, because they were a really good time. They had such enjoyable music that was always a little bit different, you know, a little bit creative, thanks to the minds of, you know, Yenebara, who we also got to check out a little bit of. Oyon's the one person from Yenebara that I don't really know, because I haven't seen what they do. But while we were watching Superband, of course, Lucy had their Insert Coin EP and the unbelievable comeback that dropped, and that was my first ever exposure properly into Lucy. I think we had a viewer request before then at some point, but my first comeback with Unbelievable was unbelievable. It was so much fun. I learned so much about what they could do musically. It was a tremendous blast. I still obsess over that song to this day. And in the past, you know, coming up to 2 years, the list of K-bands that I've really just fallen in love with, it's huge. But it's been such a great time, because it's combining my recent kind of many-year-long obsession with K-pop with my childhood love and joy of rock bands. It was the natural combination. You know what I mean? It's like things just naturally fell into place, and I found like my comfort zone. There's a reason why my alt group is Dreamcatcher, because they, in the K-pop realm, brought that hard rock energy into the K-pop realm. And it's been like, they've been my alt group for almost coming up to 5 years now. And naturally, Lucy being the creative group that they are, and me liking a little bit of creative music, like, I might have grown up on rock, but I also grew up playing classical orchestra, in doing choir, had an EDM phase, love international music, love international instruments. I have a very wide range in music that I like. So Lucy, kind of, with them plotting their own different kind of take on what band music can be, yeah, it was a natural fit, and I love them to bits. Now, the lead up to the concert was a little bit of a mess. Because this wasn't Lucy's first time around in Japan on this Written by Flower tour. They came around April or May or something like that, in the spring. I couldn't get tickets for it, mainly because I missed the window for it, for one, because apparently it sold out very quickly. But two, I didn't have the money for it, because I just moved. It'd been a month after I just moved. I also had splashed the cash on an on and off concert in Nagoya, which included Shinkansen tickets, which were quite a bit of money. So even if I could go, I couldn't afford it. But luckily, I forget what video it was, but I got in a comment saying that Lucy were making their way back to Japan for an Encore show. So I'm thinking, all right, let's see if I can make the timing work. Let's see if I can snag it. So I have it bookmarked in my calendar. I think it was the 13th of August or something like that when tickets went live, 6 p.m. Yeah, this is essentially what happened. It is 17:59 on Tuesday the 13th of August. Lucy Encore tickets go live at 6. So I'm going to try and snag a VIP ticket. Not VVIP, because I don't think paying extra 8,000 yen to get a 25% chance of getting autographs is really worth it. Oh, 6 o'clock. Any day now. Oh god. Oh no. No, 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 no. Do not die on me now, website. Oh god. Come on. Come on. Work with me here. Oh god. We're in on the mobile. We're in on the mobile. Oh, come on. We're moving one page at a time. Did we get it? Did we get it? Did we get it? Yes! We got it! First time in my concert ticket buying career that I'd ever had that much trouble getting a ticket. But we got tickets. It's like second from the top, so I think it was like VIP, Premier, first floor seating, and then second floor general. I was in the Premier ticket place, so we got like little goodies, we got a high touch event, we got photo time after the concert. Didn't feel like paying an extra 8,000 yen for a 25% chance of getting an autograph would be worth it, so went for, and you know, that was the VIP perks. Went one tier lower, and I'd say it was very much worth it, apart from the waiting times. What also helped this time around was I didn't have to get a hotel, and I didn't have to get bullet train tickets. I didn't have to get Shinkansen tickets, because Yokohama for me is about, depending on what train I take, 75 to 90 minutes away by just like normal commuter trains. And it's about 1,000 yen one way, like 1,040 something yen one way. So transport costs were really cheap, no lodging fees, tickets really aren't that expensive considering, I mean, in American terms, you have like VVIP and VIP and then standing seating. For that second VIP tier, compared to other concert places, you know, going through like Ticketmaster fees and stuff like that is really not that much money. So I went for it, got the tickets, and we just kind of went from there. I went about my everyday business, you know, recording videos here and there, getting swamped in research here and there, which is fairly common now, even though I should be on summer break, but I keep getting stuff sent to me. But everything's going well until about a week before the show starts. So it's been typhoon season here in Japan, and the Kanto region where I live and where Yokohama is and stuff like that had already gotten one typhoon scare earlier in August. But we got quite a weird one for this week. I think about a week, 8 days before the concert started, the Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, identified a typhoon, which ended up becoming typhoon number 10, way out in the Pacific Ocean. But it was moving with the predictability of a Tim Wakefield knuckleball. For those of you who got that reference, first of all, shout out you, I love and appreciate you. Second of all, RIP Wakey, miss you dearly. But for those of you who don't know that reference, it didn't move at all in one uniform path. It kind of just did that. So no one really knew exactly where it was going until about 48 hours before the actual concert. It had made landfall in Kyushu. It was starting to like divert towards Kyushu and then possibly going up the Korean peninsula, which would have sucked for one of the homies, Bird, because I believe he and his friends were out visiting Korea during that week, so they narrowly missed out on a typhoon. Congratulations, Ben. But the typhoon had made landfall in Kyushu and made a sharp 90-degree turn up the Japanese islands. And it was causing quite a scare, you know, bullet trains from like Osaka and stuff were being canceled. A lot of walls, I think, had to sell off tickets because, you know, they were going to commute and trains were canceled. They couldn't physically get to the venue in Yokohama. The night before the show, city in Shizuoka kind of went viral on Japanese Twitter or Japanese X because there's an underground tunnel. I'll put a picture up on the screen, but there's an underground tunnel passage that connects like a busy intersection, so they don't have to use crosswalks. It may or may not have been entirely flooded. Sorry, submerged is the better word for it. With that amount of rain just looming on the horizon, everyone was worried. Even the the venue people sent out like a blast email before the concert started the night before saying, "We're gonna monitor this typhoon, but there is a chance that this will get suddenly canceled due to inclement weather." And I mean, if the venue's underwater, there's gonna be no show, obviously. So, you know, with worry in our eyes, We went to bed the night before. You know, people were flying in, people were traveling in. I went to bed here. Woke up the next morning, didn't see too much. Train schedules being altered wasn't really a problem in the Kanto region, unless you were on the bullet train. So like normal commuter services and stuff were running fairly normally the night before. The day of the concert, I wake up. It's decently sunny here in Greater Tokyo. I wake up, I record my OST Saturdays. I had 2 episodes of OST Saturday lined up, one of which was a Lucy one, which was good fun indeed. Finished recording right in the nick of time because then I had to go get dressed, get ready, and then head out for the concert. So as I'm leaving the house, walking to the train station, I'm looking on my transit app to see, what routes are available. Unfortunately, pretty much any train route that ran past Yokohama further into the depths of Kanagawa had altered timetables because services on the extreme ends were canceled due to rain. So I ended up having to take this super convoluted subway-laced route through the heart of Tokyo and go kind of snake my way through Tokyo and Kanagawa Prefecture to get to Yokohama. And it almost took 2 hours to get there, like an extra 40 minutes, but we got there in the end. Get into the venue. I think I got there like 4:30. The show started at 5, or was supposed to start at 5. Got there just past 4:30. Scan the ticket. Get the complimentary fan banner thing. Get the wristband. But we're at the venue. We can finally talk about the show now. I know I waffle for long enough. Let's talk about the show properly. Now, the ZEP venues, quite intimate spaces, like even with full standing, I think it's like a max capacity of 1,200 people or something like that, which, compared to an arena tour is tiny. Which is great though. I think it gives a really nice intimate atmosphere being in that premier, second tier VIP seat. Or standing area. I find standing concert tickets quite good fun. Mainly because, especially if you're towards the back, there aren't as many people, so you get a clear vantage point of the stage and of the performers. But you also get space to just kind of jam out and dance along to it. Dance along to the performance and stuff. So, knowing that and with that in mind, kind of towards the middle, very back of that premier standing space, I get kind of an entire, aisle area to myself, and I'm just there to vibe. The show started quite late. I think it started 10-15 minutes late or something like that. I don't know why that was the case, but just kind of stood there, on social media or what have you. And then the show starts. I'll pull up the set list right now. It'll be over there. But the show starts. Immediate goosebumps. And that's the case with, I think, every concert that I've been to. But when that first note hits, when your mind and your body knows that the show is going to start, that is that moment. Immediate full body goosebumps. I knew immediately, oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. And it really was. Getting the ball rolling, quite literally with rolling, the energy was great. And the walls, or especially those around me, they were passionate fans. I've been to many a K-pop festival and K-pop concert now, but that might have been in general just the most passionate clump of fans that I've come across at a concert show. And maybe the occasion had something to do with it, but hearing so many Korean walls fly in from Korea for this show. There were some that have flown in from Southeast Asia for this show. It was super cool, but everyone really was pouring their heart out for this performance. The performers included. Oh my goodness. Lucy, they make some quite high energy music, but on stage they go crazy, especially Wonsang. Wonsang's always been a very high energy guy, I feel like. But, slinging around a 6-string bass while going full Twinkle Toes mode for 65-75% of the show is crazy. But man, he does not stop moving. Like in the Villain MV, where he does the slap to start the intro off. Like that part. It happens so much. Or the bass slide you get in Unbelievable, where it's just, he leads into it. He lets his body guide him into that bass hit and just goes and it's really cool to see because it's almost explosive when that happens. And then on the other side of the stage, you have Mr. Shin Ye-chan on violin, who, first of all, I did not know Mans was that shredded. Like, mostly in MVs and stuff, I feel like he's oftentimes wearing the kind of, Angus Young-esque schoolboy uniform type fits, right? And I'd never seen a Lucy like concert live stage before. I'd seen them on music shows. Well, of course, we watched them through Superband and stuff. But he had the gun show going on display with the sleeveless tank top, and bro, Ye-chan is wedge. He is wham, and I guess with good reason, considering, holy smokes, he goes off when he plays violin on stage. It's unbelievable. Like, he moves with the essence of an 80s lead guitarist from a heavy metal band or like a hard rock band. I've never seen a violin, like, Lindsey Sterling, who combines like very melodic strings with a very pretty, almost elegant dance sequence, moves around a lot. But Ye-chan moves with the intensity of a rocker while playing sometimes very pop-oriented band music on a violin. And I mean, because of it, he's out of breath a lot, but you can tell by him being so out of breath so often that he's really putting everything into his performances. It's really cool. Also, his electric violin that he used, I love the way they have like the sound engineering on it, because I'm assuming it kind of works like a guitar, but with like various effects and foot switches and stuff like that. But there were various times where throughout the show, the tone of his violin changed, so you get like more of a richer tone, more of a softer tone, and it's all done on one instrument. I thought that was super neat because I'd never had the ability or the opportunity to play an electric violin. I only ever played the wooden acoustic ones growing up, so that was super neat. Gwangil is a surprisingly soft-spoken person. Maybe, again, it could be because of the occasion, because this was the last show before he went off for his mandatory enlistment, which I believe starts today, because I'm recording this on the 2nd of September, so best wishes to Mr. Gwangil. Hopefully he serves well, and he serves healthily, and hopefully we get him back soon. And more on that later. But Gwangil's a very kind of almost reserved person in contrast to everyone else. And maybe that has something to do with, him kind of hidden away behind the drum kit on the back of the stage. But Gwangil is a lot more kind of soft-spoken than I thought he was going to be live. That's very neat though, especially when we get to the Gwangil block later in the road, and then Sangyo. Sangyo really does move like a frontman. Like, he commands the microphone with a voice so suited for a frontman. It's really amazing how captivating Mr. Choi Sang-yeop is as a performer. Really cool stuff. Also, his voice through the KT Zep Yokohama speakers was crazy. It was so sharp and crispy. I blame him for one of the reasons I got tinnitus that night, but yeah, his voice just cut so clearly through the speakers. It was insanity. But we'll go through the set list a little bit. We got them doing a cover of Macaroni Impitsu's Koibito Gokko, which was super fun because, well, one, I don't know the song at all. But the one takeaway I had from it, and I asked about this on Twitter last night, or X, sorry, last night, but we had a vocalist Ye-chan moment. And I very vividly remember it happening because I was listening along to it, don't know the song. It's very clearly in Japanese, so here's me thinking, I don't think Lucy have ever done a Japanese song before. I wonder what song this is. And then I hear this really smooth, soft voice coming off the side that I'm not used to hearing. I look over, it's Ye-chan with a microphone. He sings just for a little bit. He has a little vocal moment, and the crowd. Oh my goodness, you can kind of feel like the collective gasp we gasped when we heard Shin Ye-chan singing live. It's like It's like we had all just seen the Loch Ness Monster appear and then disappear. Everyone, like, we're all, you know, cheering along to the song. All of a sudden, whispers, just this sudden quietness rolls over, gasps around the venue, because the mythical Shin Ye-chan vocal moment's happening. And then it's over like that, and we never got it again for the rest of the show. But we're all standing there like, holy shit, that just happened. And it was brilliant. Please, can we have more Ye-chan vocal moments, please, and thank you. Following Koibito Gokko, we had a Gwangil block, and this is kind of where, for those people who, I mean, honestly, I think 99% of the venue understood what the Gwangil block was about, but for the 1% who didn't, it was, you know, they had gone through the explanation of this is the last show before Gwangil goes off for his military service. It was a very sappy moment. You know, Gwangil had a little talk section. He sang a original composition, an OC live, with Sangyup on drums. Like that was a shock, because, you know, Sangyup is bringing Gwangil from behind the kit to talk about a song, and then very so subtly but slowly, Sangyup just moves behind the stage monitor, moves behind Gwangil's kit, and just kind of plops himself down on the stool, like, behind the kit. And Gwangil's like, yeah, he's been practicing for me. Everyone is going, what on earth? And then he drops the, isn't he so talented, just like little quip. And here's me thinking, you know, going through the whole Superband experience, knowing Gwangil started off as a vocalist with a guitar and somehow ended up doing drums. To see Sangyup kind of relive that experience, because he also auditioned as a vocalist, got eliminated very early on in the show, but seeing Sangyup end up behind the drum kit again really felt like deja vu in a weird roundabout way, and it was really wholesome, but he did a good job on it. The song was so pretty. As you know, or if you didn't know, I am a sucker for a really good ballad, like especially an emotion-laced ballad. The Gwangil original, to a T. The emotional, sappy, really pretty ballad with, you know, Gwangil's vocals, that kind of softer, very unique tone that Gwangil has, so suited for a ballad. And then we followed up with Burn It from the From album, the most recent From album, and it was just, you know, emotion overload. Before they were getting ready for the next song coming afterwards, they're all talking about, hey, why are you all so sad? Like, how could we not be so sad? Like, you just gave us 2 sappy ballads following the heartbreaking news that this was going to be the last time we saw Gwangil for a little bit. And it's like, but why do you do this to us? Why do you do this to us? And then it was even worse, because we had like a little title block section, and they start with Play. They started with Play from the frickin' Childhood album. For me, and for many other walls, that was like, damn breaker. I was weeping during this. One, because I love Play so much. It's, in terms of emotions, the #1 Lucy title track that's like really gone straight for the heartstrings. It's such an emotion-loaded song, and it's so pretty, and it's also really gentle, right? But as soon as the piano opening started, it was so Jover for me. Like, I was already in a very vulnerable state following the Gwangil original and Burn It. But then Play rolls around, and it's like, you have like a wet paper towel and you tried to catch an anvil with it. There was no hope. There was no hope. But Play live is an unbelievable experience. It really is. It's the emotions, like with the really cute MV, the emotions were already very high. Musically, that song, the emotions were already very high. But hearing it live is unmatchable. It's insanity how good that song is live. Then they followed it up with Haze from the Fever album, which is a song that I don't think I really gave enough credit to, because it's a very, very pretty song. And followed up with Tied Up from Insert Coin. And then we had a little like an intermission phase. I don't know what was happening, but Gwangil left for a moment. And then Sangyup went with them, acting as like the security guard, bodyguard role, and you know, did the dramatic earpiece and then pushing the crowd off, and it kind of left Yechan and Wonsang on stage on their own. And they're like, well, what do we do now? And we're talking about, you know, doing a little like improv live concert, like little duet thing. And they dropped a live performance of Merry-Go-Round, Joe Hisashi's Merry-Go-Round. I think a lot of Korean wall-walls are upset by that. Well, like, not upset, but like, you know, a little bit jealous of the fact because they didn't get it on their Seoul Encore set. And I don't know what was happening. All I heard was just really pretty violin and then Wonsang playing his 6-string bass like a guitar. And it was like, oh, it's very pretty. And it was kind of like all of our attention had been sucked onto stage, like to like one little point. Really cool way of just kind of like filling in the time. Again, I don't know if it was supposed to be there or not, but really pretty. And then we kind of turn up the energy a little bit. You know, everyone is reset. We had the very pretty performance to kind of let everyone settle down, calm down a little bit. Gwangil and Sangyup come back, and then it's party time. Because we get Unbelievable to start off the party block, and oh, it was unbelievable, alright. It's so much fun. I love that song so much. That song will forever be a memorable Lucy song for me, because it was my first one. It was my first Lucy song, and it was such a good time. And it's just so good. And then going to I Got You, Hot was a good time. Didn't know the song, but it was a lot of fun. And then Boogeyman live is actually quite intense. I didn't realize the song performed live would be that heavy, but very cool. The sudden time signature change, you really feel it live, because you're really, like, if you're in the standing sections, your body's like going along with the song, and then all of a sudden, that 6/8 section, it's like, whoa, hold on, because your body naturally starts doing like waltzing along with it. That was really super cool. But if we're talking about what happens when your body kind of automatically joins in with the song, it's the next one, Dokkebi Dance. Bro, Dokkebi Dance goes crazy. It's like everyone has like this neural implant in their head, and whenever Dokkebi Dance starts up, you have to jump around to it. It's insane how much like crowd power that song has. And like, I enjoyed Dokkebi Dance when we were listening to the album, but live is, the fact that you're able to freely dance along to it is world changing. Unreal. And then we go through quite a good run of just, I mean, I'll pull the set list back up again. I'll probably keep the set list up on the side for the most part, but what I am really happy about with this Lucy show, though, is the fact that you really just jump around their discography so much. It's not like you do a block from their certain album, a block from this, a block from that, or even if it is just like a, no, say the Gwangyo block or the party block. They go in an order you don't really expect, or you can't really predict unless you know the set list ahead of time. And to finish, you know, you get their old tried and tested, tried and tested classics like Flare, like Flowering. Oh, Flowering live as a show finisher. Wow. As I hadn't heard like their early title tracks since we did the marathon following Superman. So it'd been a hot minute. But boy, do it hit. There are a couple songs I would have liked to hear that weren't on here. What was the song called? Never in Vain or In Vain from Insert Coin? Because they had the really, you know, the kind of darker Lucy stuff was really cool, but I wanted to hear what the Yechan violin section sounded like, because I remember being confused instrumentally by when we listened to the album. That and Snooze. Wish we would have gotten Snooze in there at some point live, but all in all, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain at all. And then this is where it kind of gets a little bit more difficult to talk about, because this is, you know, we'd already had the Gwangil block earlier on in the show. It was a very emotional time. But that was nothing compared to what like the last 15 minutes of this concert was. because it was really just like it was show love for Gwangil Day, essentially, right? You know, this being his last performance with Lucy before enlistment and stuff like that. But the last section of the show really was dedicated to Gwangil, and you know, everyone's saying, well, more like Wonsang having a really heartfelt, just nice long speech, and it was super like touching, super heartwarming to hear, you know, members talk about them, like about each other like that. So much so that like Yechan physically couldn't face the crowd because he was crying so much, and I think Sangyup was as well. And then you could tell Gwangil was like holding it in. Wonsang had commented like, "I cried at Seoul, so I have to talk now," and kind of made like a lighthearted joke about it, which Wonsang does very well. He likes to keep the energy very lively and very uppity, which is very like him, you know? Mr. Twinkle Toes with the bass, who's always like trying to bring happiness. It's amazing how, like, you know, Jihan from Weekly and Wonsang, they're cousins, right? But it's amazing how similar that side of their characteristic is, just always being happy and bringing happiness. I love it, because on a really sappy emotional moment like that finale ending, you really need to balance it with a little bit of sappiness, or else everyone is crying. But I cried during that. It was so touching and heartwarming, and it's like you can really tell the camaraderie that they've built up over the 4 years that Lucy had been active, and I love it. I loved it so much. The others, you know, had a little brief words. Sangyup sang a little bit because that's what he does best. Gwangil had his last little bit. He tried to keep in the tears. Did well for the most part. He got choked up quite a few times during that, but I mean, who wouldn't be? And that's how the show ended.
우리가 마음 맞아 버텨보자고. 하나, 둘, 셋, 화이팅!
Now, for us with Premiere and VIP tickets, we got to stick around because we got photo time, where the members come out for like 10-15 minutes, do various poses and stuff like that. I'm sure if you're on Wall Twitter, you know exactly about those pictures. I didn't realize that was a thing. I thought photo time was like, there's some concerts I'd seen of people, especially in America, like where the artist comes out to the lobby and you can take pictures with them for a little bit. I thought it was going to be like that. I didn't realize it was just going to be members standing on stage and us taking pictures. Either way, I thought it was really cool. But we're all taking pictures, like I'm, you know, holding up, because there's no one behind me anymore. I've got my phone held up all the way up. I'm taking pictures, I'm taking videos, whatnot, and we're just kind of in good time. Then the members go off stage. We get ready for the high touch. We snake around. We file out, do a high touch. I think it went Sangyup, Wonsang, Yechan, and then Gwangil to finish. Wonsang and Yechan, I don't quite remember the order of, because they go by so fast, but I remember Sangyup being first, at least I think. Oh god. You know, it's almost been 48 hours. I've already forgotten. But it was Gwangil last. I remember that very clearly. So like, you know, kamsahamnida, high touch, kamsahamnida, and then little like fight. For me, it was like a little bit of fighting for Gwangil, because obviously it was his last time. Little salute that a lot of people were throwing his way, myself included. And then we file out the venue. I'm a little bit miffed that they didn't have the merchandise booth on after the high touch, because I would have loved to look at tour merch. Because I missed the table on the way in because I was kind of pushing it close to the show. I would have liked to get like a concert t-shirt or something like that. I did get a pack of photo cards in there that I can actually... It was part of the premium ticket perks, was a pack of, I think it's 4 photo cards. But I would have liked to gotten tour merch, like a t-shirt or something. I don't think I've ever had non-glossy photo cards. Like, these are matte finish photo cards. But, you know, we finished the show. I think it was, by the time we finished leaving the high touch and out of the venue, it was like 10 to 9. So, hello everybody. My voice is somewhat intact, but we are done at the Lucy show. Thanks to VIP stuff, I got to, there was like a little photo thing where all the members were on stage. We got a little high touch event. It was very good fun. My voice is actually starting to go a little bit, but it was great. It was so much fun. My legs are so shot though. I'm so tired. It's also,
almost 9 p.m. I think. Let me check. Yeah, so just checked. It is 8 to 9 in the evening. It takes me about 90 minutes to get home from here, and I also have to go eat dinner. Like, I am starving. I was borderline shaking from, I don't know, like 8:30 onwards. I am so tired. But I'm gonna try and I don't know, maybe we go Yokohama for dinner if I have time to. The problem is I don't know how late the trains will run tonight with the typhoon messing up the timetables and stuff. So we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna try and find some food and I'll see you back home.
It was 9 p.m. I was starving. I was like shaking, lining up for the high touch because I was so hungry. So I run to Yokohama station because growing up in Yokohama, I know exactly where all the good food spots are. And I went to one of my old tried and tested like childhood favorites, Katsuretsu, home of the pork cutlet. They've always been a great place to go, and you know, if you go at like 9:15 when most of the stores are closed, it's dead quiet. I got my food out in like 5 minutes. It was so tasty. And then the train ride back, thankfully, the rain wasn't affecting services going up into Tokyo, so I got home. Trains were a little bit crowded because it's, you know, the night of a weekend. People are going out and about, so they're going home after a week off, or after a weekend out. Got home at like 11 something ish. Stopped by 7-Eleven on the way home. Got a drinkable yogurt and an ice cream because I wanted to treat myself. It started raining a little bit again. Made it home, and then I uploaded 2 OSC Saturdays. So, final thoughts about the Lucy show in general. This isn't anything new. Lucy are unbelievable. And that's not a pun about the song. Lucy are genuinely an unbelievably talented group. The way they perform their music is so genuine and so fun. And I've never come away from a Lucy release or a block of Lucy songs feeling underwhelmed. I've always enjoyed a Lucy music experience. I've always had fun listening to Lucy music. I've always been invested in listening to music from Lucy. This live show was no different. And it made me realize that, one, I have a very long way to go in terms of becoming a true Lucy fan, like a proper wall. But at the same time, I knew throughout that show that I had chosen a really good K-band to like. Because they're a great vibe, they're a great time, and you know, the individual members themselves, like we got to see their journey through Superband last year. I got to know some of them more and more as we checked out Lucy throughout, you know, the last couple years or so. But they were beyond anything I could have ever imagined, especially Wonsang. Like Wonsang, I had a decently good idea of what his like personality and character was like. I was not ready. I was not ready for Wonsang. He is just naturally very cute. Like his mannerisms are very cute. His way of speaking is very cute. But when he gets serious, like when he gets into his feelies, he's, you know, giving speech, especially about Gwangel at the end, or whenever he locks into performer mode, oh, he's different. Oh, he's really different. He's also very big. Like, he makes a like a full-size 6-string bass look like a slightly oversized guitar. He's very tall and very big. I didn't realize that. It's like, it doesn't really show in the MVs, because in the MV it just looks like he's playing a 6-string bass. But on stage, he does not make that bass look like, he makes the bass look tiny. That's hard to do. I don't know if I got the true Gwangel experience, because the occasion, I think from an early on point, or even before the show started, this wasn't like the normal Gwangel we were going to get. We were going to get a kind of a different side of Gwangel, like a more vulnerable side of Gwangel. And honestly, I really liked it. I liked the fact that he was, you know, not afraid to show off that vulnerable side of him. Just like, kind of let the music do the talking for the most part until he needed to do a proper talking part. And as someone who relates to that kind of thing when it comes to like showing off human emotion, I felt that on a spiritual level, so I appreciate him a lot. I appreciate him. I do. Yechan. What can I say about Yechan that hasn't been said already? Oh, man. You know, Yechan is the reason why I started checking out Lucy. Similar to how Jino from Hopi Polo is kind of the reason I started following Hopi Polo, because getting a classical string instrument into a modern band vibe is not easy, is not common at all. And I wanted to explore that a little bit. Me being a violinist, of course, it was natural that I would flock towards Yechan as a kind of gateway into Lucy. And Yechan is also not a very big human being, but he makes up for it in stage presence and in the movement. Like, he is a showman whenever he has a violin solo. There was a point where he like jumped down into the crowd with a chair, and that's where he performed a solo at. But he is a violinist that possesses the spirit of a guitarist of a rock band from the 80s. He has that flair. He has that dramaticism. He has the showmanship. And I don't think I really ever truly appreciated that side of him. I've always been a fan of his violin ability, the way he makes certain glissandos sound so easy, or the way he makes certain runs sound so easy. But I don't think I appreciated the performer side of Yechan until this time around. And then Mr. Sangyup. I've gotten a lot of exposure to Sangyup through OST Saturdays, so I know of him vocally, but I didn't realize just how powerful his vocal presence was. His sharp vocal is so captivating, because you can't miss it. It just pierces right through the mix, even in a live setting. And honestly, it's probably a good chunk of why I got tinnitus that night. But hey, I'm not going to complain about it. His voice is absolutely glorious. But I understand why he is the frontman of Lucy, because he moves and he commands the stage and he commands the music like a frontman does. He's also not a very big human being, but the way just him standing in the middle of the stage is enough to like really garner attention into what's happening on stage. That's the power of the frontman. And you know what? It makes sense. Lucy, as a band, why they're so fun, it really makes sense. It's really straightforward. You just have to pay attention a little bit, and you pick up on the details, and you fully understand why Lucy are so much fun. And that's my takeaway from the show. It was an amazing set list. I also realized I still have many more Lucy songs to listen to, because most of the B-sides were kind of foreign to me. At least the ones that I haven't listened to from, say, you know, like the Blue album, stuff like that, or the Gotcha album, are more kind of foreign to me. One thing is for certain, I don't think my love for the K-band is going to die out anytime soon. It really isn't. And I think today actually is going to be a really good day for that, because I do believe, again, I am recording this on the 2nd, I'm pretty sure both QWER and Day 6 have comebacks today. That's super exciting. I cannot wait until 6 o'clock today, because it is going to be a lot of fun in the K-band world moving forward. And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Day 6 have a concert coming up too. So if I can manage to get a Day 6 concert ticket, oh, you bet your ass we're going to be doing this again. The K-band and me is a relationship that is not going to go away anytime soon. Thank you for listening to my presentation on what happened with me and the Lucy show. I know I waffled for a long time. I'll hopefully have gotten it edited down in post, because the raw recording is at 58 minutes. I'll make sure it's not that long in the final cut, but it was a brilliant time. I mean, I knew it was going to be a brilliant time, but it was such a brilliant time. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen with Lucy moving forward. I also don't know what's the story with Wonsung and his military enlistment, because I'm pretty sure, unless it's been like, you know, under the radar and has been kept private, there's been no information on him enlisting yet. And considering Wonsung is older than Gwangil, he has to serve at some point this year, I think. So I don't know what's going to happen with Lucy moving forward. Hopefully it just go on like a suspended whatever, rather than the ugly D word. But I trust Mystic's story on that side of things, and I trust the guys that they're gonna get through this, and whatever they do, all we have to do is wait a little bit, and they're gonna be back better than ever. You know, groups, especially male groups, always lose a member during military enlistment, but they come back, and when they come back, oh, the songs hit so nicely. So, I have no worries about that front. Lucy are gonna come back, and we're still gonna be here. I should probably do this. Hold on. Oh, 1, 2, boop. Thank you all for listening to me waffle. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. Hopefully you managed to get a little bit of a viewpoint into my concert experience, so to speak. But, of course, this is my channel. We have to finish the videos in one specific way every single time. One last request from me today. Let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world. Whether it be, you know, checking in with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day-to-day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!